The Russell Historical Society presents the history of the brickmaking industry in Russell. Local historian Wendell Stanley said the brick industry, an associated boom era of the early 1900s that produced new houses and new businesses, was responsible for putting Russell on the map. Russell was a flourishing brickmaking center from as early as 1864. The earliest brickmakers were Solomon Pillar, William Federley, and John Helmer. By 1884, the directories listed 3 brick factories operated by Horatio Laux, Hamilton Rombo, and James Turnbull. Laux Brickyard is shown on the left, and a clay brick is shown on the right. These small operations produced molded brick using the local clay from which some of the oldest buildings in Russell were constructed. Local clay brick was used by John Helmer to build the Henry Tweed House in 1860, the Russell County Registry Office in 1874, and John Hall's house in 1875. Other buildings in the village constructed with Russell clay brick included the Anglican Church in 1886 and the United Church in 1887. In 1907, Laux Brick Factory was purchased by Dr. Dougal McDougall and Robert Fraser, and they named it the Russell Brick and Tile Company Limited. They hired James Ball, a British brickmaking expert, as manager. On his arrival, he determined that the local clay was too soft to make good quality bricks. James Ball found a good workable clay shale on George Hayes' farm in North Russell, about 4 kilometers north of the brickyard. This red shale is part of the Queenston Formation. It is the youngest of all the bedrock formations in the area. It's composed of red clay particles with very little cementation that makes it easy to break down when exposed to weathering. The underlying red shale bedrock is the origin of the red soil in the fields of North Russell. In 1907, the quarry was opened. Mining was a seasonal operation. The quarry was pumped dry late in the spring, and the rock was blasted, and a steam shovel was used to load quarry cars on a narrow gauge railway. By midsummer, there was enough shale obtained for the next year of brickmaking. Initially, the quarry cars were wooden-sided and were pulled up out of the quarry by teams of horses. The cars would then roll down the hill on their own to the brick plant. In 1911, the Russell Brick and Tile Company was sold, and the new Russell Shale Brick Ltd, under G.F. Hodgins, built a plant adjacent to the New York Central Railway line. The wooden shale cars were eventually replaced by side-dumping cast iron cars, and a steam locomotive was used to pull 16 to 18 cars at a time down to the brick plant. At the plant, the shale was crushed, mixed with clay and water, molded into bricks, and fired in one of the 2 kilns. The mold stamped the name Russell on the bricks. It was one of the most modern plants of its kind and attracted skilled workers from England, Scotland, and Ireland. At its peak production, it employed 125 men and produced up to 65,000 bricks per day. Russell Brick was shipped to market via the New York Central Railway to Ottawa, Montreal, and as far away as New York City. One of the first village buildings built with Russell Shale Brick was the MacArthur Warner store in 1908. Other examples of the use of Russell Shale Brick in the village are the Hayes McEwen House and the Boyd House, built around the same time in 1908. The original section of the Ottawa Civic Hospital was also built with Russell Shale Brick in 1924. World War I brought a slump in building construction as men from all over Canada signed up to serve overseas. The Russell Brick plant shut down until 1929 when it was sold to Ottawa Brick and Terracotta Tile Company Limited. The new owners tore down the Russell plant and began shipping shale from the North Russell quarry to their Ottawa plant at Billings Bridge. In the beginning, the shale was shipped on the New York Central Railway to Ottawa. In 1938, Jack Eastman of Marvelville started trucking the shale to Ottawa. This began the yearly shipment of shale from the quarry to make bricks in Ottawa and then in Gloucester, up until 2007, when both the brick plant and the quarry were closed. The Russell Shale Quarry, the narrow gauge railway, the Russell Brick Plant, and the New York Central Railway that carried the shale and bricks far and wide are part of a wonderful heritage that our village should cherish. We hope this whets your interest in visiting our museum, and we look forward to seeing you here in the future.